Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your Friends in Recovery.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Friends in Recovery podcast. I'm your host, Jersey Ed, along with my two lovely co-hosts, Buckeye Bambi and blah, 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 Beth. Take 2.
10.
Take 10. I want to get this phone number out really quick, guys. 800-989-6504 is our non-emergency hotline, okay? Non-emergency hotline. And also, you can email us at Bambi.
Friends in Recovery Community at gmail.com.
That's right. Or below each one of our pictures. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can email us directly, and we love to hear from you. But like I was saying in take 1, I was saying I say welcome back, everybody, right? And maybe I should say welcome to the Friends in Recovery podcast. I don't know. Just my thought.
I know. I do. Say this, Ed. Say, welcome back to the Friends in Recovery podcast, and welcome to all you first-time viewers.
Should I wear like a big bozo hat too while I'm saying that?
I want to welcome my first-time viewers.
That's right.
Just come again. Like, subscribe.
That's right. Like, subscribe, smash that button, do all that stuff. But first, listen to this.
Are you tired of being called crazy? Have people written you off long ago, but you're still trying to live sober and giving it your best shot? Good news, SoberPod is here to help. The 366 effing days sober daily meditation reader is the book for you. It's not just another self-help book. It was written by a humorous human, if I do say so myself, with a lifetime of experience with addiction and alcoholism who found a way to get and remain sober. In this book, you'll discover feeling good and doing good can go hand in hand. So if you want to make progress, not perfection, grab your copy of 366 effing days sober today and start your own journey. Stay active, stay sober, buy the book, visit SoberPod.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. So you like how he snuck that commercial in real quick?
I like that one too.
So we can get that done and over with? That's right. That's right. Anyways, guys, so today's show is on love and peace and hope. And I can sing Love Boat again if you want me to.
No.
You're welcome, audience.
That was good. That was good.
We saved you.
Heard it. Trust us.
Prior.
Yeah, before we came on, I was singing Love Boat for everybody. I wonder we all three of us should remember Love Boat here, right?
And Fantasy Island was on afterwards.
Fantasy Island. What was you playing Tattoo, right? Tattoo. You playing. I remember that. I don't think I was drinking yet at that time. I think I was still young.
I was drinking.
That was the 70s. You weren't drinking in the 70s.
I remember walking around the house, like spinning around like a, like with my arms out, going the plane, and stumbling into things.
Oh my God, that was last week, Beth.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, so we're going to talk about love today. I think we got everything done. We got that done.
I got to tell you, I'm impressed.
We needed done. Well, I know. We got the commercial in. We got all our stuff in. I'm actually in a hotel room recording this because I had to travel. So I got a big speaking engagement that no, I'm kidding.
You were playing golf, Ed. Come on, admit it.
I was playing golf today, yes. I was playing golf up in Boston. So anyways, but that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about love, kindness, beauty, whatever. But I think you're going to read from this wonderful book that we just heard the commercial on.
I am.
And I think it's about love.
It is.
All right. Go ahead, Bambi.
The opposite of love is not hate. It's indifference. Have you ever tried someone's patience so fucking much that they no longer even hate you? Your actions have caused them to simply ignore you, as though you no longer even fucking exist. It's cold shit. You literally don't matter to them anymore. Maybe you haven't noticed the impact of your actions on someone like this, but it does happen. These people don't make grand gestures about it. One day, they just decide that they have had enough, and poof, they have made up their minds. They no longer care to either love or hate you. The change is noticeable. They stop calling or don't reply. The texts stop. When you see them in passing, they are always busy. You don't see that you stepped on the toes of those around you one too many times. And sometimes the only way they can retaliate is by negating your existence altogether. Reflection for today. How many relationships have you had that you thought were great? Still, for some reason, unknown to you, they no longer come around anymore. Have you ever decided to be indifferent to someone? And a daily challenge. Get on Facebook and look for that old friend. Tell them how much they mean to you. Then let the rest happen on its own.
I like that so much.
Good reading. So, Beth, this is your topic.
I gotta
What's
tell
your
you, man,
thoughts on all
I
this?
love the fact that he wrote the opposite of love is indifference, because
What does that mean?
Okay.
Like, explain that to me. The opposite of love is indifference. Okay, indifference
so
means
this is
what?
how I experience what that is that I've been married for 22 years. And I love my husband. And the way that I know my husband, that I love my husband, is that when he pisses me off, I want to fight about it. No, that's not indifference. I love him enough to fight with him. I care enough to have the hard conversations with my friends, with my job, with, you know what I mean, with my kids. Indifference is somebody does something that either hurts my feelings or I disagree with or doesn't go against, like doesn't jive with my morals or my values or something. And I just give up. Like, it's not even worth having a conversation. It's not worth fighting about. It's not worth the energy that it's going to take to get through this. So I just become indifferent, apathetic. Like, I just don't care.
Okay. I like that. Well,
I can relate 100% though to exactly what Beth said, because there is this person, unnamed person, that I literally hated with all my might. And now I am totally, completely indifferent. You know, I did all the stuff you're supposed to do. I prayed for her and did all that kind of stuff. And now she's so insignificant.
It doesn't even hit your radar.
Doesn't even, not at all. Not at all. That's a perfect, Beth. That was perfect.
So do you think that's love in a different way, that you're loving yourself, that you don't get involved with
the
it anymore?
opposite. It's literally the opposite of love. Right? So,
right, but you love yourself because you don't want to have that hate inside of you anymore.
Yeah, so you're loving yourself.
yeah, but see, we're going off on a different, we're going on the same topic, but in a different direction. Like right now, what we're trying to grasp is that, you know, if you love somebody, how do you know that you love somebody?
Because you're willing to have that argument.
Yeah, you could be indifferent with them. You can agree not to. You can disagree not to agree. Right? You
That's
can agree
not apathy, but that is not indifference. Indifference means it doesn't matter. Like what? Like it doesn't even hit my radar. Like it didn't even think about it. Right? Like if somebody pissed me off, like they can't even piss me off. Like, or they can piss me off in the moment. So I'm thinking of one specific woman that used to be in our sisterhood. And she used to piss me off for a lot of years. And now when I see her, I give her a big hug and a big kiss. And if she ever asked me to show up, I would do it in a heartbeat. But other than that, she never even crosses my mind.
I get it. Okay.
Not love
all right.
her.
So that's like ex-wives. Like once you that's right. I mean,
you hope.
Like, you hope. Exactly. My one ex-wife, my first ex-wife, you know, you're right. I never think of her ever. Not even like, you know, I'm going to see my kids in 2 days and going to see the grandbabies, and she's never came across my mind. Right. You know, they're her mother, but years ago when we were going through the battles and, you know, she was doing her thing and, you know, I was getting sober, you know, that woman wouldn't leave my mind. Now it's indifferent, and that's it, right?
And life goes on.
And
She's
life
the mother
goes
of
on.
your children, and that's as far as it goes. That's it.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, but don't you think that comes with time also?
I think it depends on where you are at in your life, in your program. I think it's how much self-respect do you have for yourself, right? And that's where it kind of goes on what you guys were just saying, which is it is self-love. The faster you can get to indifference with somebody you just don't give a shit about, the more healthy you are, I think.
Yeah, that is true. No, you're right. You're 100% right. That indifference. Yes, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And I'm reading this book, and it's funny, The Power of Intention. It really by what's his name? How did I get
Power
this here?
of Intention. Yeah,
it's an older book. Yeah. So he talked about, I just literally read this chapter today about the 7 faces of intention. And one is the face of kindness, which is love. He talks about love, kindness, and beauty. And, basically he's saying the same thing in this chapter is that, you have to just be okay with somebody. You can't let them get in under your skin. Basically, you have to love them for their beauty, you have to be kind. You have to be kind to people, right? Because the minute you take that space up in your head, or the minute that you let somebody into your head, that's hatred. That's not the opposite of love. If you have kindness and love, and everybody's beautiful. If you think about it, if everybody's beautiful, what he's saying is that space will never be in your head. That hatred will never come into your head, right? The guy who cuts you off, like at a practice this morning, the guy who cut me off this morning, I wanted to ram him up the ass. Well, anyway.
All right. Do we want to explore that a little further?
I think it's a different show.
This is Ed's coming out party. I wanted to whatever, but I said, you know what? That's not what is healthy, right? That just wouldn't be healthy for me to do. So I backed off. I had that moment that I wanted to do it, but I backed off and I said, all right, everybody's beautiful. I need to be kind to everybody. And it worked. It really did. So that guy is indifferent to me now. Is it what you're saying, right, Beth? Because I brought him up because I wanted to use it as an example, but after that moment and I let it go,
right? But
there's
then
no more
you
thought
still
of him.
love that human, right? But you forget, that's more
Still love him
forgiveness.
as a human being.
Indifference, I think for me, it pertains more to the close relationships I have in my life. Like when I have those days where I am just, and I don't think you love your partner or your friends or your kids every single waking moment of every single day, because there are moments where I'm just I can't. I give up. In this moment, I'm not doing it. I'm not. And walk away.
But Beth, tell me the exact words, but isn't that literally part of our program? It says love, patience,
love and tolerance.
kindness,
love and tolerance is our code.
Love and tolerance is our code, right? I mean, so if we're working our program the way that you're supposed to work it, that is our goal.
And it's funny because Earl Hightower says all the time he's a super hippie. He's of that age. And he says all the time, he goes, in the 60s, it was all about, hey, man, love. Everybody just love. And it's like they knew who we were when they said love and tolerance.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? This is for a bunch of alcoholics here.
Well, also in Viktor Frankl's book, The Man's Search for Meaning, I don't know if you guys ever read that, but they make reference to it in his book. And he's seen everything as love and beauty, right? That's how he got through the concentration camps. I don't know if anybody read that. That book is, I had to stop reading it at first because it's a tough book to read. And this man who went through all this stuff almost died, right? The way he stayed, the way he's sane and the way he got out of it was just loved everybody and thought everything was beautiful. I mean, it's just, if you didn't read it, you got to read it. And also it kept him, within himself. It kept him loving himself. It kept him, because the minute you hate somebody, the minute you dislike somebody, I'm not saying you have to love everybody, but the minute you throw that hate out there, the minute you throw that negative energy out there, it's coming back.
It's not even just that it's coming back to you, but it's consuming you. Right? Like the way I like to look at it is if you get every single one of us.
Yes.
Yeah. Every single one of us gets 100% every day. You wake up and you have 100%. How much of that percentage do you want to waste on hating?
Yeah.
A lot of people do it all day long,
it doesn't make any sense
man.
to me. Like, I do not ever want to meet up with my mother again. I don't ever want to see her again. We're done. It's with good cause. But I don't hate her. In fact, I love her very, very much, and I'm grateful that I got out of there. But that you know what I mean? Like that she's my mom, and I could walk away, and I'm grateful for my life. But I don't hate her. It takes too much of my time. I don't even think about her most days. That's the difference.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, yeah. Well, yes, exactly. That's the indifference. You can't like kind of. I don't know. I shouldn't say you can't, but if you want to live a happy and blissful life, that's what you have to stay out of that, the hate zone. You really do. Yeah, you have to stay out of it. And listen, I mean, think about it. If you're kind and loving and you think everything's beautiful, I mean, think about the life you're going to have. Right. And there's a quote from Henry Ford, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. Right.
Correct.
I mean, think about that. Like, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So you might as well apply that to loving people and being kind. So if you're kind to everybody, why not? Yeah. Like, just be kind. And their study shows that if you're kind, if you kind of project kindness onto people, your serotonin levels, I believe, go up. Right? Is that
Probably. And serotonin and norepinephrine.
I forget.
Yeah, they go up, and then they also now don't quote me. I'm not a doctor, or do I play one? And I'm not even saying it a Holiday Inn, so I'm not even a fake real doctor. But when you project kindness and love onto somebody else, their serotonin levels go up also on top of that. So to be an asshole to somebody, you're really hurting yourself and the people around you. When you say that, think about it. You're hurting yourself and people around you because it's going to put everybody in a depressed mood, right?
Yeah, it's your energy. Either you have positive energy or negative energy, and you can either put positivity in the world, or you're going to put negativity into the world.
Somebody explain. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I don't have enough space in my brain for the negative stuff because it makes my heart feel bad. So I'm not letting that stuff take up space in my brain.
I become obsessed. I don't do it at all anymore. Not that I can think of, but there are very few people that I will put forth the energy to hate. Oh no, there is somebody right now.
Yeah, it takes a lot of energy.
It sucks your energy. And what's funny is that when I decide that I'm going to do love today, I actually get fed from it. So I actually get energy. And I can spend that extra percentage on things like making fans for my home group tonight that has no air conditioning.
That is funny.
That's cute.
That is good. That is good. I like that. Well, they describe in this book that hate is like darkness and love is like the light, right? And the darkness, like the light takes over the darkness so easy. And the way they explained it was, if you're in a dark room, right, that's the hatefulness. If you light a candle, think about it. If you light a candle in a dark room, think how that one little candle illuminates that whole room. And that's how easy the energy of love takes over a hatred. That easy, right? That quick and that easy. You light a candle in a room and it brightens it up. It's not like,
Also think about it this way. It doesn't cost anything to light another candle. Once you have fire and you have light, you can literally light somebody else's candle and the light gets bigger.
That's right.
And it costs you nothing.
That's right. Yeah. Well, think about two miserable people sitting in their house, my grandmother and grandfather. It was so miserable to go into that house because they hated each other. I mean, maybe it was that generation or whatever, but, you know, and once in a while, Stacey and I get into you know, I mean, we're like anybody, we're normal, you know, and it's funny because when we go to church on Sundays, the energy and everything changes if we're upset with each other or something goes on. Like, you're right, there is a whole church full of candles snuffing out our darkness. And there's no other thing to do but to be happy and to love each other when you're there, right? And you know, and we try to carry that. Now again, you know, we're not happy-go-lucky 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because we're humans, right? But we don't hate each other. And the minute that, you know, that we think that I think that, oh, this, you know, you're not doing it the way I want to do it, or you're not listening to what I'm saying, that's that darkness that I put on top of somebody, and I have to retract that and just say, hey, listen, I'm sorry. She, like, the other day, Stacey came in, and bought something, and I said, no, Gatorade. I asked for Gatorade, right? And I texted her, no red Gatorade. So she bought the Gatorade home, and it was fucking red, right? No, she must have. I know she was doing a lot because our daughter was home, and so the first thing when she walked in the door, not, hey, thanks for the Gatorade, because she had two other ones. It was 3 for $10 or whatever, and not say thanks for the Gatorade. I told you not to bring the red. I told you not to get the red. I was like, I immediately corrected myself. I said, I'm sorry. Like, you know, that's the things that we have to do to identify that, so that love shines through, right?
And I think
that love.
And I think that brings up another really good point about love is that when you love somebody, you want to correct yourself, right? Like, I forget what the movie was. It had Jack Nicholson and the guy said, "You make."
The Shining.
That was about love, all right. Honey, I'm home.
All work and no play. But he said, "You make me want to be a better man." Like, he was clearly either on the spectrum or something, and she was just like, say one romantic thing, and he came up with, "You make me want to be a better man," and it's like, it gives me the energy and the motive to want to be a better person, because I see when I treat people badly, and when I love them, I don't like the way it makes me feel. I don't like the way it makes them feel.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And I seen it on her face when I said that. I'm like, oh man, but we're humans. We make mistakes, right? Now I could have went back and just grabbed a Gatorade and went about my business, but you know, whatever your Gatorade is, and whatever, you know, you if you catch it, that's 100%. You know, you're correcting the problem, right? I mean, you know, and she, you know, but nobody's gonna be perfect, so that's just an example of, nobody's perfect. That's the
and
thing.
Ed, think of it from the other side too. Think of it from Stacey's side. Stacey didn't hold on to you saying, "Where's the red?" She let it go. That's a choice, right? And I think that's another thing I constantly try to remember is that love is a choice, right? So if I choose that I love you, then I'm gonna do the apology. I'm gonna let your activity go. Like, I'm gonna do all these certain things. But when I'm indifferent, I'm not letting that shit go. I'm just going to be like,
that is
not
true.
to bring it back to recovery or anything here, but isn't that part of our our spot check inventory? When we realize we've done something to wrong someone else,
promptly admit it and immediately turn across to somebody we can help. That's our 10th step.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. But think about that now. If we did that, and then the next thing he didn't say he was sorry, and he didn't cut the grass the right way, and not thanking me for the grass. Then she didn't thank me for the grass, and she didn't park the car in the garage the right way. And then on and on and on and on. And think how deep that hole can go, right? I mean, think about the resentments.
Before long, you got divorce papers in your hands.
Exactly.
You haven't talked about it, and none of you have made the amends or to say, hey, you know what? That was really bitchy.
Ironically, I think too many people still love each other when they get divorced. They just can't.
Yeah.
Well,
They
because they're
just
away
can't
from
back
each
up
other
enough
and
to back themselves out of the hole that they dug themselves, and they start to tell themselves these lies about their partner because they're hurt, and then they are living by a delusional lie, and then they're making life choices on whether or not to be married on a delusional lie, all because they couldn't step back into the moment and go, I'm sorry, at least you got Gatorade. Like, I appreciate the Gatorade.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the choice. And believe me, years and years ago, I wasn't like that, especially when I was drinking. It's, we get better and better and better as we go. And I'm not looking for anybody to be perfect. I'm not looking to be perfect, right? I mean, it's just not going to happen. Progress, not perfection. I always say one step than that is better makes better. That's it. Not even, progress, not perfection. I mean, progress is good, but better makes better. If you're giving yourself everything you can and you're changing as best as you can, you make mistakes and you learn from them, you're getting better, right? There's never going to be a perfect. I don't even know what progress is. I mean, of course you're growing, but better, I want to be better. I always say better makes better. And that was a choice. That was a better makes better choice to say, I'm sorry, and there's probably times I haven't, not just with my relationships, with work, right? With whatever, does you ever get even if you go to a store and you say something to somebody and you walk out of the store like, oh shit, why'd I say that? I should have apologized. It's, now that person is, you're giving that person it's like, and it's like that ripple effect. I was just down checking in and there was an older gentleman in front of me and he booked his reservations at the fucking desk, and it took I didn't know if I was going to be able to get on a podcast on time. And I'm like, all right. I'm like, when I looked outside, the wife was out in the car, and I just said, you know what, Ed, just enjoy this moment. Just love what you're doing right here and right now. That guy, this is what that guy wanted to do. He had questions. And he doesn't know that I had to get on a podcast. He doesn't know that I had a long day, out in the sun. I just wanted to relax before the podcast, which I didn't because he did take too fucking long. But he doesn't know any of that, right?
Ed, you know that you were sitting there saying, "Oh, Beth and Bambi are so used to me being late. It's going to be like every other week."
That's right. But that's that better makes better mentality, and I always think of that all the time. I think of that in every situation. How can I make this situation better? Now, sometimes I choose not to make that situation.
Again, that comes down to you're not perfect. You're having a moment.
Exactly,
you're in a growth spot, or you know what I mean? Like nobody expects you to be perfect. But if you knew to do that every single time, you would be done. You wouldn't have to be here anymore.
Yeah, there'd be no growth.
There'd be no growth. You're right. Absolutely. And then people would resent you for being know-it-all, right? Seriously. I mean, and there are people out there that think their shit don't stink and they know everything. And that's what this book told, that's what that was saying in there. Do you ever recognize people don't have time for you, that they don't talk to you anymore? Their meetings are short. Their talking to you is short. Well, that's probably why, because you're trying to be perfect and you want everything, your way or the highway type thing.
I don't want to deal with it anymore. There's just people in this world that never give you a turn in the relationship. And I think for me, that's the number one thing that I'm just like, I'm out. Mm-hmm. It's never about me. I'm good with it not being about me, but there's two people here. And if we're not doing this together, then why am I here? Yeah.
Why do it at all?
Exactly.
You can do being alone at home. You don't need the other person for that.
But people live in it, right? I mean, even in recovery, people live in it because it's then, with another show, codependency, that goes into that piece. You're so codependent on that other person. You think your life is going to be miserable without that person, and sometimes, you just got to take that leap, like the divorce or, we're just talking about relationships here because love, I guess we kind of relate to relationships. That's kind of, but love can be anything. Love could be loved the guy downstairs who the older guy downstairs who wanted to talk to the guy about making a reservation, for him and his wife, and that was important. That's, you have to love somebody like that too. Let that person go. It's not all about Ed. It's not Ed's world, So anyways, I think that reading was good, guys. That was February 14th in 366 effing days sober. If you have that book, read it. That page particularly, because it is a good reading on love and a good definition of what the opposite of love is that we just kind of went over here. But ladies, do you have anything else you want to add to this, or before we close?
Just that
here?
I love you guys.
I was saying that, Beth. Damn it, I love you too.
I love you guys. Oh, we love everybody out there in Friends in Recovery. All 7 people that we have.
We love you too, Carl.
We love you too, Carl.
We do love Carl.
Guys, I think it was a good show. I don't know. Let us know if you loved it or hate it. But remember, it's easy to love somebody, or you're indifferent. And if you love it, give us the stars, right? Smash those star buttons or the notification buttons. But most of all, guys, just remember just to love yourself, because that's where it starts. Loving yourself, and then project that love onto others, and kind of stay in the love zone for now. And stay sober, everybody.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.